Okay, this is Debe of the Backroom Crew, and today I bring you a new segment called Why Not Both? In this segment, we're pretty much going to be talking about two different types of video games, anime, or franchises that are parallel to each other, and throughout the years, one seem to have gained more popularity than the other, and we're going to pretty much ask the question of why the other one did and why the other one kind of like faded into obscurity. So with this, we're going to start off with Pokemon and Digimon. Now we're going to give you a little bit of information about both, and then we're going to ask the question of why people chose one over the other. So Pokemon was created by Satoshi Tajiri of Game Freak, and it was dubbed Pocket Monsters in Japan. Start off with 151 Pokemon, or 150, and pretty much it's a collecting game where you collect different creatures of different types of different, breeds and styles. The currently known number of Pokemon is 719, and in the game, you're a trainer who's collecting all these different Pokemon, having battles, raising them, and going against gym leaders and Elite Four of the known area, which are basically the bosses of the game. Pokemon they grow from eggs. They are known to grow and evolve into different forms, and they cannot de-evolve. They can't go back. And they're also they can also die just like normal animals or creatures if they, receive enough damage, or if, someone kills them. Digimon was made by Bandai of 1996, and its origins start off with the Tamagotchi, which was created by Akihiro Yokoi of Wiz and Maita of Bandai. And pretty much Tamagotchi was a little virtual pet where you take care of it just like you would a normal pet. You raise it from a baby, you feed it every day, clean up its, waste and everything like that, play with it. And then you can also have battles with your pet against other, pets. And pretty much the pet also grows into different forms and becomes more powerful and, everything like that. Tamagotchi comes from the word tamago, which means egg, and the English word for watch. And pretty much it would be Tamagotchi, which would be, Tamago watch. They added the I sound later on when they started pronouncing it, to make it a little bit easier. But Pokemon is based off of digital monsters, which live in the digital universe, which is parallel to the Earth's universe, based off of Earth's various communication networks. In Digimon, they have tamers, which most of the Digimon designs were made by Kenji Watanabe, and Digimon they pretty much also are raised from Digi-Eggs, and they digivolve into different evolutions. These are based off of Rookie, Champion, Ultimate, Mega, and the thing about Digimon, they can actually revert back to their previous state if they become too weak, if they get, mortally wounded. They pretty much regenerate into these egg forms and become, start their life cycle over again. Digimon, unlike Pokemon, can't die as easily. They can die if their data becomes, corrupted, but pretty much when they become weak or, they get hurt, like seriously, they just reconfigure their data into an egg and start their life process over. Sometimes they can keep their memories, sometimes they actually start over their memories. Next, we're going to get into the video games of both series. Pokemon video games started in February 27, 1996, and they started with the Red, Green, and Blue games. Blue came later on that year of 96, which was more like October, and it was an exclusive to the Koro magazine subscribers. Game Freak produced the games. They came out on the Nintendo Game Boy in the cartridge form. In total, the video games for Pokemon are 23 for the main series. They have 2 games coming out this fall, which is Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. They have 46 non-main titles, which are on several Nintendo consoles and PC. And pretty much these incorporate games like Pokemon Snap, Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, Pokemon Stadium, Coliseum, such games like that. For Digimon, their games started with the Digimon Tamers, which was on the Sega Saturn system, produced by Bandai, and it was in CD format, and it came out of September 23rd, 1998. Pretty much, they have in total 28 games, which are based on a storyline type game, RPG. And they have one game coming in the fall of, coming in 2015, called Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth, which is going to be on the PS Vita. They have 39 games total, including spin-offs and fighting games. They can be based off of raising Digimon, fighting Digimon and everything like that. I remember some titles include Digimon World, Digimon Adventures, and games such as that. And they're all on several different formats, not just on Nintendo-based formats like Pokemon. These can be on PS1s, like we said before, Sega Saturn, PS2, PS3, handhelds, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Advance, PS Vita even, and pretty much they go through a multitude of different systems for their games. Now, with the animes, both have similar things, but also very different things with their animes. For Pokemon, the main series started on April 1st of 1997. They have 800 plus episodes, and it's produced by TV Tokyo. The main producers of the show is Satoshi Tajiri, Junichi Masuda, and Ken Sugimori, which is the primary artist of Pokemon. He came up with most of the designs for Pokemon and their concept. He's been pretty much the man who's made every single Pokemon, or had a hand in making every single Pokemon since its conception. I believe his first Pokemon was Rhyhorn, and even though it's not first on the Pokedex, that was the first Pokemon that he drew up. They have, for the anime, 17 main movies, which are based off of the main characters. They have 8 TV specials. They have 25 side story episodes, which they use main characters in the story, but not in the actual anime, like the series itself. It's kind of like side episodes. They showed some of these on Cartoon Network at one time, I believe. They have 7 winter vacation shorts, and they have 8 ANA flight shorts, which they pretty much showed on airliners. Pokemon even has their own airline plane, which I believe they probably showed these shorts on there. The main show protagonist is Ash Ketchum, or Satoshi, I believe, in Japan. And he follows the games in some sort of way, where he pretty much goes to East Gym. The only difference is that he doesn't go to the Elite Four to face them. He actually goes to East Gym, obtain a badge, and then goes to the League, which is a tournament, pretty much of Pokemon trainers battling against each other to try to become the top one of that region. And he's done this with pretty much every conception of the games, and they've always had some type of league tournament throughout the games. For Digimon, it's a lot different. There's been 7 main series with 332 episodes. It started in March 7th, 1999, which is 2 years after Pokemon, and all series for Digimon are different. They always had a different cast, always had different Digimon, mostly, that would be, the Tamers' partners. The first and second season played off each other, The first one was, you got introduced to Digimon World. Kids went to summer camp and they got trapped in the Digimon world, and for pretty much throughout the series, they tried to find their way home while being trapped in this world, filled with these, digital creatures who they eventually befriended. And the cool thing about Digimon is Digimon can actually talk and not just say their name. Everyone's still named like Kodomon or Kabuterimon or, something like that. But they could do more than just say that. Even though when they Digivolve, they did say their names. But, that's not the point. But pretty much those two seasons played off each other. The second season was kind of a continuation of the first season, to where it ended with the main characters of both seasons fighting against this greater evil. The third season played off of the first and second seasons a lot, to where it pretty much made them non-existent. And I'm going to bring that up later with the trading card section of this. The fourth season brought in a new element where Digimon actually became, humans actually became Digimon. They played a little bit with it in season 3, to where the humans would combine with Digimon, but in this season, the humans themselves actually transformed into Digimon. They kind of like played off that whole like Kamen Rider type thing, to where, they like transform, or, they transform into like a stronger form. But in this, they played off it a lot. Pretty much the humans could become Digimon and they could Digivolve and everything like that. The fifth season, it was pretty much the shortest season. It wasn't much about it. The sixth season actually has 3 different arcs, and I believe it's still going on today. The last arc ended in 2012, but I believe it started back up after that, and the newest and pretty much the series started in 2010, so it's been going on for about 2 years. In total, Digimon has 9 movies, 7 of them which follow this the series, the shows. 2 which don't really, they're considered non-canon. Digital Monster X Evolution, which is based off of the Digimon Chronicle manga and merchandise. And the Digimon Savers Ultimate Power Activate Burst Mode, which it was made off of the 5th season, but it's considered non-canon with that season. So, the first 3 Digimon movies, when they came out in Japan, they were actually combined together in North America into Digimon the movie. So most people are aware of that, because if you watch the Digimon movie, you'll see 3 different like segments put together. And let's see. Next, we get into the trade card game. Pokemon trading card game was developed by Media Factory, and they owned it from October 1996 until September 2013. It then went to the Pokemon Company in October 2013, and they own it to this day. In America, Wizards of the Coast owned it from 1998 until 2003, and then it went to the Pokemon Company International in July of 2003, and they still own it today. And the Pokemon card game is a more popularized card game overall. Like, you'll see it pretty much everywhere. They used to sell game packs of Pokemon in card shops, 7-Elevens, sometimes dollar stores. Like, you could get Pokemon cards everywhere, and they've been going on strong for almost 20 years now. The concept of the card game is you just battle against each other with your deck of Pokemon, and you pretty much try to beat 6 of their Pokemon so you can retain the 6 prizes. And if you get 6 prizes, you win. Or if you, I believe, deck them out, you also win. Now, the Digimon trading card game was developed by Bandai in 1997, and there's not that much on it, other than, it was a pretty popular game in Japan, but in Japan they have a lot of different card games. They pretty much have card games for almost every anime that comes out. Even though this preceded the anime by 2 years, the card game, it was pretty popular, but it kind of died down. I believe it couldn't just live up to what Pokemon did. Like Pokemon incorporate card game, video games, and everything. This one was kind of like standalone. They didn't really incorporate that much stuff to like promote it that much. Pokemon, where it was played in Toys R Us all the time and everything in car shops, you hardly saw that many Digimon card players that much. But the unique thing about the Digimon card game is that in Series 3, which I talked about earlier, they played off the first season by basically making the first season like a TV show. So they pretty much broke the fourth wall and made Digimon the first season, the second season, a kids show, something that kids would watch and enjoy and everything like that. And one day in the series, cards started falling from the sky, and they started seeing Digimon on them and everything like that. So they used these cards to battle against each other and everything like that. And then certain cards actually contain real live Digimon in them, and only a certain few number of kids actually knew about it. So they would use these digital monsters themselves for certain things or whatnot, like to either battle against other ones that became rogue, or they would battle against each other. And they eventually went to the Digimon universe themselves, and in order to stop this greater evil and everything. Unique thing about it, they would use the cards. They use Digimon cards to either power up their Digimon, like they would swipe it through a barcode type sequence to either power up their Digimon, or to actually like give their Digimon like Digivolutions, like Mega forms or ultimate forms and everything like that. And it was pretty cool because you could actually buy the little Digivice, and you could buy the cards, and you could swipe it, and you could raise your little Tamagotchi Digimon to stronger levels and everything, and battle against other people. I believe it was a concept where it was kind of ahead of its time, but it was pretty cool when you saw some people use it. Now I'm gonna go again to the actual argument with both. Pretty much both series have a lot of accolades. While Pokemon has a lot more, I believe Digimon has almost just as much. Pokemon, they've been supported by Nintendo for since their almost conception. While Digimon was supported by Bandai, and although it may not seem like Bandai is nowhere on the level of Digimon, to where they're just Bandai is just a game making company, and they were actually bought out by Namco, but they're no slouch to what they can do. They've made very great series for animes, and very great series for games too. So both of them, both of the companies are no slouches, but I believe just Nintendo, with it being a giant in Japan, and just making they had Pokemon Day, they had Pokemon centers and everything like that. I believe they just made it so it just pushed it everywhere. They made it like the Disney of Japan. So as far as the video game series goes, anyone can pick up a Pokemon game and just start playing it and just become addicted to it, because they promote it, you gotta catch them all. They pretty much made it so you have to catch every single one of these Pokemon, train them, battle, and everything like that. And that's the thing with a lot of games. With each incarnation, they're becoming easier and easier to become competitive with the game for Pokemon. The storylines, they're still somewhat kiddie, but they seem to get better sometimes with, down the line. But Pokemon overall, for their games, their main series games, they've just, I believe they're just easily accessible putting them on handhelds because, you don't have to sit down and play the game and everything. Digimon, they've got really good games as well with Digimon Adventures, Digimon World. Those are the story-based games, and then they have some Digimon fighting games to where, you can actually fight with, your Digimon against other Digimon. But I believe they just didn't stand up to that, and I believe it's kind of a bad thing that Nintendo did, like restricting it just to one system. But, like Digimon being on several different systems and several different formats kind of hurt them as well because you couldn't just, have the same system for like, the same games and whatnot. It's like Digimon World 1 was on PS1, I believe, and then Digimon World 2 was on PS2, so you had to get both of them while, Pokemon didn't change their generation until like at least 4 games in, so you had more games on that one system than you did with, like Digimon did. The anime, I have to say, after a while, the Pokemon anime became repetitive and became like, boring. Like, I believe kids will like it. Kids like it a lot and everything like that. But after a while, when you start, looking at anime more and everything like that, you want more story and more in depth. And I believe that's what Digimon anime brought. Like, they bring more story and more in depth. While they still brought the kind of like, kid aspect to it, they brought a little bit more story where you can relate to the characters and the Digimon more. The Digimon were, like, they were like your friends, they were like your family, while Pokemon were more like pets. Like, you still treat, your pet as a member of the family or a friend, but it's nowhere to the level that a Digimon is, because difference between Digimon and Digimon can actually talk. Digimon can communicate with you, so they can tell you how they feel. It's like you kind of had to guess with Pokemon on how they feel, or unless you had a deep connection with your Pokemon, you would not know. You would not know how they really feel unless you, actually could feel how they feel. Pokemon, as far as, series, they have way more episodes, way more movies and everything like that. But I believe they lack the substance because they seem to stick to the same thing. Digimon has different storylines, different complex storylines with the characters and everything like that. And they actually benefit more from that. Even though it's not the same main character all the time, they usually try to keep the same Digimon that you've seen from the first season. Like, I know while Pokemon has Pikachu, Digimon has Agumon, which is pretty much their equivalent, I guess, of Pikachu, kind of. He's been in several different incarnations in the series. He's been owned by different tamers, but he's pretty much followed down the line to be that Digimon that you recognize the series with, and you're like, oh, hey, that's Agumon. You know who that is. So, but I believe you can, kind of see him more, relate to him more, because you can communicate with Digimon and everything like that. So that's where I feel the anime for Digimon is a little better. As far as the trading card game, the Pokemon trading card game is just killed the Digimon trading card game and any game trading card games that are based off of card games. Bandai, they'll do this thing where they'll put out multiple card games based off of, series and everything. Or, they'll try to put out these card games that have so many card games to where they can't really focus that much, while Pokemon can focus on this one card game. So I believe that's where they benefited from. Like Nintendo, once they pretty much made the Pokemon company, they could focus on that card game in general. And like pretty much Bandai, they could not focus on it. They could not focus to make it popular. They tried with Season 3 to make it a little bit more popular, and it actually worked for a while, I believe. You saw more people with the cards and with the little Digivices, which was pretty good, but it still couldn't match up. So, overall, while Pokemon is, the superior, it has won with most aspects. It's like, even looking at the games and the anime for Digimon, they're not bad. Like, I played Digimon games before, and I watched the anime for Digimon, and I enjoyed the Digimon anime far more than I enjoyed Pokemon anime, because it's like with the Pokemon anime, you know what's going to happen, you know what's going on. They're going to go to a place, meet some new people, have troubles, solve this problem, defeat Team Rocket, send them blasting off, go off to the next city. That's pretty much the whole thing with Pokemon. It's pretty much gotten boring into a rut. With Digimon, at least you know that, hey, something different could happen. It's a story. It's kind of like a saga. They make it more dramatic. It's like, yeah, you kind of feel in the eventual end that these characters are going to defeat the evil, but you feel like, okay, they're actually going through more problems than, just regular stuff. It's actually character development with not only the Digimon, not only the people, but with also the bad guys. I remember a couple times where the actual bad guys in Digimon, they turned out to, turn to the good side, because, they were either mind controlled or, something like that. And I believe in Digimon 4, like the 4th series, they actually played off of, I believe, one of the characters dying. They actually, like, one of the characters actually died, and they, like, kind of brought him back. He was back to life in the digital world. So, they go really in depth with this, series, with the Digimon anime. But all in all, the main thing that I guess I'm trying to say is that Pokemon, while it seems better on many different aspects, Digimon is also good. And I know Digimon has fans as well, just as much, probably not as many as Pokemon, but they do have fans. And I love both series to death. Both series are pretty much, they're like my heart. I love them both. But, I have to say, just give, Digimon more of a chance, because it may turn out that you may like it just as much as Pokemon, if not more, just because, of the anime or because of the games. Like, try the games, try the anime, it can be beneficial to you. So I guess, why not both? This is Debe from Backroom Crew, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.